Hello, good evening. It's Naomi Newland here, and I am just trying to hook up with Naomi G. It's the two Naomis. It's the Naomi show tonight. So just bear with me 2 seconds because I just need to add her in to this gorgeous call and say, come on over. Your time is now, Naomi G. Ah, who have we got? Oh, we've got lovely Angela. Hey, Angela, how are you doing? I'm trying to find Naomi, so the 60 seconds or so of this video is always fun as we try and hook up live here on Facebook to chat about Naomi's story. So I've got Angela on. Sorry, I'm doing all the technical stuff. One day, this will all work seamlessly. Okay. Just going to tag Naomi in the video, so bear with me, Angela. I'm going to be straight with you. Yes, Naomi's on. Okay, we have Naomi on. Oh, you're in France. How lovely, Angela. Let me just see how I get Naomi in the room. Oh, have you got a green icon, Naomi? Because for some reason, it's not giving me the option to add you in. So Naomi L. On the bottom of your icons, do you have a green little video camera there? It's doing it differently to how it did it in our practice run, which is a little bit annoying, isn't it? That is a little bit annoying. Oh, look, it's a bit better light for a start. Oh, it's being tricky tonight. Tricky. Comments? No, I don't want to comment. Yes, here we go. I'm adding you in, Naomi. We're doing it. Get rid of these comments. Don't know why that's all up there now. Oh, no, yes! We've done it!
Hello, can you see me? Can you hear me?
We can see you and hear you, and I'm loving the t-shirt. Very
like
tropical.
That. I know, I'm sure it's probably from the children's department, but...
Awesome, well that's bonus. I love the fact you can get away with it. So, this is super exciting.
I know.
This is my first international
wow
promo chat.
Wow. I
you,
make it sound glamorous, don't I?
Yeah. Where are you, Naomi?
In Tenerife.
Tenerife.
Yeah.
Beautiful. How is it out there?
Lovely and sunny. My bush keeps growing back though, that's the problem. So if anyone's got any good hair removal techniques they can share. Seriously, what am I going to do? I thought I found David Bellamy down there earlier, like bubbling around in the undergrowth. It was terrible. So yeah, aside from that, so I'm going to start designing bikinis with hold-ups for my saggy boobs and shorts long enough to embrace the 70s bush. That is my new business.
Loving it. I think we could all do with that.
Business idea. I know. Yeah. So yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, we just come for our family holiday and yeah, found some Wi-Fi.
Brilliant.
So here I am.
I'm so impressed.
Hello.
I'm so grateful for you to take the time away from your family.
My pleasure.
And have a little chat tonight. So let me introduce you. Let me share all of our Naomi knowledge about each other because this is Naomi G, and I had the pleasure of meeting her as one of my hypnobirthing customers for baby number 3 and baby number 4. She has got 4 bambinos. This woman, like that's enough credibility, like just to see you
I know.
through anyway.
That is a badge of honour in itself, isn't it?
Absolutely. So mother of 4, businesswoman, newfound career as a comedian, stand-up comedian on stage, like oh my life, and a professional survivor.
Yeah.
We've got some great stories to be telling this evening, haven't we? And at your workshop at Breastfest.
Yeah.
You have? Cool. So Naomi is going to be one of our guest speakers at Breastfest, which takes place on Saturday, 6th of October, 2018. Coming right up now, like supersonic speed. It's really heading.
Hi, Talia. Hi, Karen. I can see names coming up. Oh, hi, Ashley.
Yay!
Oh my God. I can see names coming up.
Have you got all your fans in?
Well, it's funny because, Talia's my niece. Karen's one of my best friends from school. That's her sister. And she's been hugely supportive with my comedy. Aisling is an awesome lady I met on a night out with one of my friends in Reading. And let's just say we both shared our hatred of blowjobs. And that is actually how we became friends.
To bond over. This is
I know, quite an important thing for sure. Go on, carry on, sorry.
So I had the privilege of meeting Naomi to teach her hypnobirthing with babies number 3 and 4. And without a shadow of a doubt, she has to win the award for being the most comedic customer ever. I don't even know how we got around to doing any hypnosis because we were just too busy laughing the whole time, weren't we?
Yeah.
So it's a great honour to have you along, coming to Respect.
Thank you.
18 various speakers, all chatting about their various different takes on womanhood and well-being and what they believe are their life tips to share. There's loads of women sharing their stories, but also their professional wisdom as well. So it's just going to be a mind-blowing day. I can't wait.
It is going to be awesome, yeah.
It's so exciting, so exciting. So the festival is coming up. It's in Worthing. It's in West Sussex. You know, I'm bringing something that deserves a mega stage in a capital city.
Hi, Tanya. She's a Worthing girl. Tanya's a Worthing girl.
Come on down to Respect.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. So let's get chatting then, Nay. Tell us all about yourself then. Let's start with the mothering thing. What is it like to have 4 children? I've got 3.
Yeah.
How's the 4?
It's mental. It's absolutely mental. In fact, my sister-in-law, we're on holiday with family, and my sister-in-law's got 4, and I can see why she drinks, because bloody hell, my nerves are frazzled. So, like, just this morning, I've woken up and they're all kicking each other, they're screaming, they've popped the blow up, they're hitting each over the head with, like, the beach toys. It's just constant chaos, but I love it. I absolutely love the chaos, and I wouldn't want it any other way. I want more. Darren is not so up for that.
Baby number 5.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Well, now I know I can do the hypnobirthing, you see. I know I can, you know, it's a piece of cake.
Absolutely.
It's a piece of cake. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, life is hectic, but it's busy and it's fun, and they're just awesome little people. They're all very different. They've all got different personalities. They're all at different stages as well. Obviously, the oldest is 14 and a half. So he's a proper teenager. Anything I say, he hates me. Like, literally anything. I could even be asking him if he wants a drink, and he is growling at me. And then the youngest one is 4 and a half, and he's just still really cute and adorable, and he's still a mummy's boy. So yeah, I've got it all going on. I've got my little girl. So I've got one little girl who's my special little princess, and then Lukey, who's just turned 7 actually, and he's a very mischievous little monkey. So yeah, it's cool.
It's amazing. So busy life. Just 4 children alone would be enough to keep any woman busy.
Yeah.
But not only that, you know, you run a business, and
we do.
You're also like this new stand-up comedy.
I know. What is that all about? I know.
It's incredible, honey. It's really incredible. I'm so proud of you. Because you know, you've been quite a journey as well. You haven't had the easiest ride of late, have you? So I don't know where you start. Whether you want to did the series of events that I'll let you talk about. Was that what led up to the comedy kind of going after that? Tell me a bit more about the journey.
No, I think probably the journey was what gave me the boot up the backside to do it. Hi, Wendy. Darren's cousin's just logged online to have a look. So to give people a bit of background, I mean, shit goes on anyway in my life. Honestly, it's like it's attracted to me. But in the most recent time, so 4 years ago when Frankie was born, Frankie was 6 weeks old, and Darren got diagnosed with a blood cancer, and it was a life-limiting blood cancer. So it's pretty serious stuff. And we literally went from being a family with, you know, 4 children, you know, one of them a newborn baby, running our business. I had a husband who was a part of the family, to this really shocking news, which none of us had been expecting. And overnight, I kind of became a bit of a single parent, to be honest with you. I was obviously still breastfeeding little Frankie because he was only 6 weeks old. Luke was 2 and a half. Hi, Liz, my lovely doula. She's online now. She was there when Frankie was born. She was amazing. She's hypnobirthing trained as well. And she was my doula, and she made me some awesome placenta capsules, which I will rave about to anyone who'll listen. So that happened, which obviously no one was expecting. And it was a weird thing, because I had 2 weeks where I went into shock. You know, I didn't want to listen to the radio. I didn't want to do anything that was happy. And I was just walking around in this stunned sense of, is this happening to me kind of thing? And then 2 weeks passed, and I was just like, I've got to pull my socks up. I've got to deal with this. I've got children that need me. And obviously the children were a lot younger. They were 10, 5, nearly 6. Luke was 2 and a half going on 3. And as I say, Frankie was a baby. So they were very they were still very needy in that fact that they, you know, they weren't independent children. They weren't able to feed and dress themselves and bath themselves. And I think the thing is, a lot of people say it is the kids that make you carry on, and absolutely, without a doubt, they were what made me carry on. Because I had to deal with it. I had to get up and I had to keep going. And then obviously the next overriding thing was I didn't want them to be adversely affected any more than was. Oh, hi Richard. Hi, nice to see you watching. I didn't want them to be affected any more than they were already going to be affected. So really, they were my sort of driving factors, was getting Darren through it and getting my family through it. And so you kind of, for me anyway, I went into lockdown, so I didn't really want them to go anywhere. I just wanted to keep them safe near me and just get through it. And it really was a case of head down, bum up. And that's what it was. It was really grueling treatment. Darren was very, very lucky that he got referred to a consultant in Southampton who is just like the king in this area. And we were very lucky that with Darren's age and with the consultant, he said, look, I'm not happy with the diagnosis that you've got. I want to treat you with a view to giving you a full bone marrow transplant, which is the only cure for the cancer that you've got. And that's what we did. And so we went through that process. And I would say when did I start? I got involved in comedy a little bit in 16. So a good 2 and a bit years were spent literally focused on the cancer and holding everything together and that alone. So Darren had a stem cell transplant, which is his own stem cells. That's where they remove some of your stem cell and they freeze it. Then they zap you with cancer and they give you the stem cell back with a view to bringing the cancer down, but it doesn't remove it completely. And then 3 years ago this August, which is one of the reasons why we're in Tenerife, we're celebrating his 3rd year anniversary this year. Yeah. So, yeah, I know. So look out for that on Facebook, because I'm sure there'll be lots of, you know, me harassing everyone to send me photos of you dressed in red or with number 3s, as I do each year. So yeah, in 2015 he had the actual transplant, which it's a massive operation, and the nurses that were dealing with Darren said that it's probably more sort of extreme than a heart bypass. You know, it's like one of the biggest medical procedures you can have. So it was big shit that we were dealing with, and we had to get him through that, and we had to get him through it alive, because it is very serious and there's a lot of risk of infection. So he lived away from home for about 6 or 9 months. He moved out and he lived somewhere else, and so we got through that point. And then things started to kind of slow down and kind of just tick back into some sort of normality. He started to get better. The appointments, he was able to manage his appointments. He was starting to come back to work a little bit. And we just kind of found a new groove after the treatment. And I suppose I just kind of took a bit of a step back, and I just thought, what have I done that's really, really for me? And I've done everything that I've done for the family, and I wouldn't change that ever. But I hadn't really done anything for me. I'd been a mum. I'd, you know, supported Darren as we built the business. Have you lost me on the Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I think we've just
Hang on.
Got all purple liney, darling.
No, Sam's got it. Okay. Hang on, let me just go in near the Wi-Fi and see. Hang on, can you hear me?
Can hear you, we can't see you.
Good, okay. Maybe it's this Tenerife Wi-Fi.
She is a star, Wendy, isn't she? She's absolutely amazing. Let's see if we can just give her a better signal, so we can see her gorgeous face at the same time. Oh, you've gone. You've gone. Let me see if we can get her back, ladies, because that was a very crucial part of the story. Let's see. Oh, dodgy international hotel Wi-Fi. Here she is. Let's see where. Putting her back in. Welcome back, Naomi.
There we are.
Connecting. There you are. Hey, she's back
again. Sorry about that, everybody. Right. Oh, look, my sister-in-law's watching. Hello, Samantha. So yeah, so that was that. So then what did I do? Yeah, I just took a step back, and I thought, what am I going to do for me? And so it was a weird thing. It was honestly like coming out of the comedy closet, because I hadn't told anybody. I hadn't even told my husband that I wanted to do comedy. So it wasn't like everybody knew it was something I wanted to do. I kept it a massive secret. And I just put the feelers out, and somehow or another, I don't even know to this day how I managed to do it, but I ended up on an email list. And in 2016, I got invited to a comedy workshop. So I thought I'd do it. And honestly, to get the bollocks to do something so different to what I'm used to doing that in itself actually was a massive, massive hurdle. So I bought my ticket to go on the workshop. Then I discussed it with Darren. Then I said to him, I'm going to book the ticket. And I had to go through like this series of like little milestones to make sure that I got there. And the rest, as they say, is history. I went up, that was in the December, I went to the workshop. And then I knew that they had an open mic night on in the January 2017. So I went to the open mic, and then I went to 3 or 4 open mics. So in the beginning, I was traveling up to London. I was traveling 2 hours there, 2 hours back, plus my train ticket. It was costing me an absolute fortune just for 5 minutes stage time, just to go up and have 5 minutes on the microphone. So yeah, one thing led to another, and then I started gigging locally, and I've done about I don't know, I've done about 30, 35 gigs now. I've taken part in 2 competitions. I got listed on Ones to Watch with one of the competitions. I got through to the semi-final on the most recent competition. So yeah, it's all cool. It's mental. It's just crazy.
Oh, and so well deserved. It's just the perfect thing for you. It's just the perfect place for you, indeed. So what I'm hearing now is that you've had this like incredibly traumatic time where you have to really it's all going on, isn't it, on this holiday?
Look, my niece's boyfriend has come to the that key. Oh, sorry. Where did I put that key? They're asking me for the apartment key. You see, this is real life as a mum.
This is real life.
There you go. This is real life, as if I can do a Facebook Live on my own without being disturbed by niece's boyfriend. See you later, Billy. Oh, he's too nice to be cross at.
Oh no, it's fine. It's all good. It's all good. We're all real women here. We know exactly what it's like.
Exactly.
It's about life roles. I've got kids in the bath and all sorts at the moment. Going, shut up. So you've been having. Let's rewind and just regroup a little bit. So you've had this, horrific news. I can't even imagine like how that must feel with a brand new tiny little baby as well. Like at a time when you were really vulnerable, loads of change happening. So looking back now, what was it you did to cope so well, do you think, after that initial shock of the 2 weeks? What kind of strategies did you use for anybody else that might be going through a tricky time at the moment? Is there any words of advice you might better share?
I think, for me, all of my life, the words sink or swim have resonated within me ever since I was younger. When I've gone through other stuff when I was younger. Oh, sorry, just dropped the phone. And I can remember years ago, like in my late teens, saying to myself, it is sink or swim. And it really is about sink or swim. And I think that after the 2 weeks, when I didn't want to put the radio on and all of that stuff, you kind of pick yourself up, you dust yourself down, and the gloves came on, and they really did. And I went into for me, it was practical overdrive. I got out a book and I wrote a list, and I was like, right, what are all the practical things that I need to do? And the thing is, with cancer, you have no control over that. You've got no control over who it happens to, when it happens, to you, and how it's going to be treated. And I think for me, it was about regaining some of that control and saying, do you know what? I can't control that, but I can control this. And I just thought, I was very proactive in the fact that I thought about how it was going to affect me and the children and Darren, and how I was going to overcome some of those hurdles that we would have. So it was just like really simple things, like packed lunches went out the window. I just did a block booking of hot school dinners for the children that were at school, and then I thought, I haven't got to worry then on a Sunday, have I got enough yogurts, and have I got bread, have I got butter? So it's kind of just removing those everyday troubles and worries that you have, and just trying to make your life as simple and as smooth flowing as possible. I think as well, it's about speaking to people and reaching out. And for me, in the beginning, and anyone who's gone through something like this will probably relate to it. So in the beginning, we went into panic mode and we said, we're not going to tell anyone. We're just not going to tell anyone what's happened. Then we said we weren't going to tell the children. Well, in reality, that's ridiculous. It was a 3 to 4 year treatment plan. So not telling your children what their dad's going through was crazy, but it was kind of like that desire to protect them. But once we'd gone through that process and we'd, because that's the biggest thing as well. It's like telling other people, telling your kids. And I would say that telling the children was the hardest, because Louis was 10 and he got it. He really understood. Mia and Luke didn't understand, but he did. So, so speaking to people. So obviously we told the family, we told the children, and then we started to tell people that were around us. And you kind of know generally what the response is going to be from certain people, but you still speak to people and you garner what their response is and how prepared they are really to support you. And actually what I found the biggest thing was not people coming round and wiping my ass and cooking me dinner and all of that, but just knowing that people were there to support us emotionally. That was enough. On, you know, some of the really tough days, the fact that I went down to the school and the school said, you know what, if the kids turn up in their pajamas and they haven't had their breakfast, do not worry. It's not a problem. You just get here when you get here and we will do the rest. And actually the children, they never were late for school. They never turned up in their pajamas. Nothing like that ever happened, because it was almost like they gave me the allowance to do that. And because the allowance was there, I didn't need to take them up on it. And they were incredible. Both schools were absolutely incredible. And I had one particular morning where I was a bit flustered and I'd sort of had a bit of a set to. The children were late and Luke was, I didn't know, but Luke was coming down with chicken pox and Mia was late for the other school, and it was all a bit stressful. And I went into the infant school and the head teacher just came out and she went, my office, I've made you a cup of tea. You know, she didn't say, would you like a cup of tea? Have you got time for a cup of tea? She was like, come on, come and sit down. And I went in and I had a little cry and we had a bit of a chat and we talked it over, and it was, you know, and that is the thing. And it's about reaching out and allowing people, because people do want to help. Some people struggle to help because they find it too stressful. And you do experience people who won't want to talk to you, or they won't want to discuss it because it's too hard for them. And I can't say what those reasons might be. It might be because maybe they've suffered with a relative having cancer, or they've experienced cancer in some way and it's too hard for them. But you just kind of have to accept that stuff and move on. Don't hold on to the negative stuff. And you will always have people who will behave negatively, but as well, it's in here, what's in here. And I found that for a long time, so the only way I can describe it is if you imagine, you know, a boxing match where they come and they hold up the sign and they go round one. Yeah. So imagine, but in my head, there was a person walking in my head with a big sign going, your husband's got cancer, or your husband's going to die and everything's going to go to shit, or whatever the negative thought was. It was like this person would walk into my head and I would just push them straight back out again. And I wouldn't let that thought come in. I wouldn't let that negative thought come in. I would take control of it and push it back out. And I think that's really, really important, is staying positive and, yeah, letting people help you, letting people be there to support you, even if it's emotionally. You don't need people to wipe your ass when, you know, when things go wrong. Sometimes you just need people to be rooting for you and saying you can get through this.
Oh, honey, yeah. Great words of wisdom there. Great words of wisdom there. I often say in my coaching work, kind of life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you deal with it. And all that mindset stuff and just staying true and strong and hopeful, you know, really does work wonders for you and your family.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, positive affirmations, and like with the hypnobirthing, you know, you do the affirmations, don't you, for weeks and weeks before. And like with the hypnobirthing, you know how hard I worked on it. I listened to my affirmations every day. I stopped watching anything that was like a negative birth connotation. And it was the same with this, really. I was doing positive affirmations saying, you know, we're going to get through this, Darren is going to get better, and actually focusing on the positive things, but also bringing it really down to the minute detail as well. So sometimes not looking at like the whole universe, but actually just looking at what I have got, you know. And I did have a home, we had food on the table, we had a roof over our head, we had clothes on our back, and it was actually about bringing it right back down to that. And especially when I was speaking to the children in the beginning, because you've got to choose your words really carefully, because one of obviously Louis's first questions was, is Daddy going to die? And also Louis wanted to understand, could it be cut out and things like that. And I couldn't, to tell him the truth, the real truth of the diagnosis that Darren had was too much to share at that time. He was only 10 years old. And so you have to choose your words even more carefully than you would normally with a child. You know, when they ask you about how babies are made or whatever, you know, you have to think about it. But when you're talking about like a life-changing event like we had, so I think that as well, like really allowed me to hone my skills of not lying, but maybe not telling the truth, and maybe just going, well, let's actually focus on what we have got. And so I did. And I remember sitting down with Louis and saying, look, let's just look at the situation that we have got. Daddy's got us, we've got Daddy, we all love each other, we're going to get through this. And Daddy's got family who are supporting him, and there might be people that haven't, and things like that. And just, like I say, trying to focus on the good shit. Because you have to, because at that time, I think you can very easily let the black cloud just completely consume all of your being. And that can happen really, really quickly. And actually to get out of that black cloud is a very difficult, slippery slope upwards, isn't it? Whereas if you hold on and you hold on to that positivity and you can try and ride the storm as much as possible, you can try and let go a little bit when you're ready, you know, when the ground's a bit more stable below you.
Oh, yeah. You've done an amazing job, you know. Very, very, very admirable, darling. Really admirable.
Okay.
And you've got
And
a
Chloe.
tribe of amazing people here
I
supporting
know.
and still
Look,
rooting
all
for
my.
you.
I know, this is amazing. Hi guys, I love you
So
all.
good.
You know I do
It's
anyway.
so good. So good. So, all of this, you know, high drama, very emotive time, the trauma, still coming through it with your positive mindset, still believing in everything. And then this comedy opportunity comes up.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your gig and what you talk about and your comedy and what we're going to see at Rest Fest then. How does it all tie together?
Ooh. Okay. So, well, at the minute, I'm still planning what I'm going to tell the lovely ladies at Rest Fest. So it is going to be a bit of a surprise. I might repeat some of the stuff I've obviously discussed today, because of that is, you know, relevant to the story that's been going on. But my material at the minute, poor Darren, I mean, as if he hasn't been through enough. I get up on stage and I absolutely tear shreds off him. He is my #1 fan. He honestly is. I mean, as I say, it took me a lot of courage to admit to everyone that I wanted to do it. And I was very slowly when I told people that I was doing the comedy. And I didn't let Darren come and watch me for quite some time. And when he did come and see me, even though I absolutely annihilated him on stage, he was really proud of me. So it's really cute when he comes to watch me. And but yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting thing, comedy, because it's very difficult to be like the banter person in the, hi Sam. It's difficult because you can be the funny person down the pub, but then transposing that into comedy on stage is a very different thing. So I've been working very hard at trying to turn things into jokes. And so at the minute, my material is obviously my husband, the children, and I'm sorry, ladies, but if you're not prepared for it, it's generally vaginas as well. That will always come into it because I have given birth 4 times. But a lot of people relate to that, and especially people that are in a relationship, or if they've had children, or they know people that have had children. It is quite relatable stuff. But the kids do funny things. And so, for example, I've written, ironically, okay, I've never ever done karaoke. I've never sung on stage, nothing like that. I would never sing in public, because I didn't think I could. But weirdly, through this comedy journey, I've written a few comedy songs. So this is the other thing. Like, I've gone from not daring, even drunk, to get on a karaoke stage. And yet here I am, I've written a comedy song and I'm performing it on stage and I'm singing it on stage. But that, for example, that's about the children and about my life and a little bit about Darren. And that obviously came from a real life event, because something did happen, which I won't give it away because I might sing it when I'm at Rest Fest.
Oh, you've got
something happened.
You gave me a little snippet of it, didn't you? And it's genius. You've got to do it at Rest Fest.
Yeah. So, and it's a funny thing actually, because it's quite good fun creating little sort of snippets of comedy songs. It's actually quite good fun trying to make them rhyme and say something funny. So yeah, the kids and Darren at the moment are my main victims.
Brilliant. I just cannot wait to hear it, like so much. Oh, gorgeous girl, you are a genius, and like I just couldn't think of a better place for you than up on the stage doing comedy. It's just, you found your thing, you found your flow, you've got confidence and just gone for it. And like that in itself is just an incredible story, because you know that takes a lot of balls, young lady.
It does. But not just like you say, it takes a lot of balls, but it's not just the balls getting up on stage. For me, that's the easy bit. That is actually the easy bit. The actual toughest bit was, like I said a little while ago, was the beginning bit, was actually breaking that cycle of my life that was my life at the time. And I'm not complaining about that at all, but it was doing that different something, going up to London on my own, no kids in tow, no husband in tow. It's, you know, and I think the older we get, the more of a challenge new stuff becomes.
Sure. Definitely, but it's where all the magic happens, isn't it? You know, you've got to grow to get the growth, and like push yourself through that comfort zone. Yeah. And when you look back on it now, you're like, oh, why did I wait so long? I know the things that I've put off for some time that really wanted to do and really meaningful to me, and I go and do it, and I'm like, why was I making such a big fuss about that in my head? Like, why didn't I just
completely. Yeah. Don't listen to the negative voices in your head. 100%. You can talk yourself out of anything if you try to, but the best thing to do is talk yourself into it.
They're just there to keep you safe. They're not a real thing. They're not the real you. They're just little signs like, ignore them, put them back in their box and go for it, ladies. That's our message today. Just go for it. Surround yourself with awesome people and keep on being super special. Wow,
100%.
that's been fantastic, Naomi. I'm going to let you go because I feel really guilty that you're on holiday and everyone's locked out their apartments and stuff.
That's all right.
You go and have yourself a nice.
I know. Do you love that everyone's coming and going?
Yeah.
That is real life. That is real life.
Real life, real holiday stuff. It's brilliant. We can't wait. We can't wait to have you at RestFest. So if you haven't already got your tickets, if you don't know about RestFest, I really, really encourage you to come over to www.restfest.co.uk. It's a festival celebrating women. I've got 18 of the best local women that have all got tons of wisdom to share. There's 18 different workshops and seminars happening throughout the day. Some of them practical, some of them movement, some of them more about life coaching, comedy. Got some authors there. Oh, it's just going to be amazing. The whole entire day. We've got flower crown making. We're going to have glitter. We're going to have henna tattoos. It's going to be awesome. It is going to be awesome. Are you going to have Earl Grey tea for me, though? Oh, absolutely. Put it on your rider, darling. Whole room just full of Earl Grey tea. Oh, great. As long as you got that, I'm happy. Okay, I'll make sure of it, for sure. We'll have your dressing room stacked up with Earl Grey tea. Pink M&Ms, yeah, lilies and Earl Grey tea. Wicked. It's done. Consider it done, darling. Thank you so much for sharing. Brilliant. Where can we find you? Where can people look you up, actually, Nay? Tell us where they can find you. You can look me up on Facebook. I've got a Facebook page. It's a bit quiet at the minute, but that's Naomi G Comedy. I'm also on Instagram. I've started off an Instagram page just trying to share the reality of mumhood. That's called Mamagoff, MAMGOF. I've only got 60-odd followers at the minute, so feel free to come and follow me and just see weird stuff that I post about the kids. Yeah. Yeah. Do it. And we will see you in about 6 weeks' time at RestFest, and we're going to have one hell of a giggle. We are. Brilliant. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks, everyone, for watching. See you later. Darling. Yeah, thank you, everyone, for watching. Bye-bye. See you later. Bye. Bye. Bye.